protect us here in this Capitol and all federal law enforcement need this bill to pass. I'm one of those who represents a lot of federal employees, and they've been without a check for a long time, Mr. Speaker. This is very simple. Very simple. It's way past time to open the government up. There are going to be a lot of excuses about coulda, shoulda, woulda, and you need to take this provision or that provision out, or they're going to vote to keep the government shut down. Well, let me tell you something. The vote today, it is straight up or straight down. You vote to open the government up today, or you vote to keep it closed. That's all there is to it. Now, as for the provision that's been mentioned a few times about the Senate language, I have introduced a piece of legislation already to repeal the Senate language, and I'm hopeful that we'll have a vote on that as soon as we get back. Mr. Speaker, I yield the remainder of my time.
The young lady from Minnesota continues to reserve her time. Gentleman from Massachusetts.
Mr. Speaker, I love these guys. I mean, they're all introducing legislation to repeal provisions in a bill that they're going to vote yes on. I mean, you figure that out. Mr. Speaker, the previous question is the House Democrats' last attempt to make a change to this rule before it gets voted on. And I want to use this opportunity to talk about a last-minute provision that was slipped into the CR in the Senate. It's an outrageous giveaway to pad the pockets of 8 Republican senators. And it's one of the most corrupt things I've seen in my life. So if the House defeats the previous question, I will offer an amendment to the rule to consider as adopted an amendment to the continuing resolution offered by Representative Subramanian which would strike the corrupt giveaway out of the text of this bill, so it does not make it into law. Mr. Speaker, this is a massive payday for Republicans. It would allow 8 of their senators to shovel millions of dollars into their own wallets. I'm talking cash money, not for their states, not for their constituents. No, for their own personal bank accounts. Why should a United States senator or any party get a special right that nobody else has? No state legislator, no governor, no judge, no citizen in the entire country has this right. But we are creating it for a handful of Republican senators. It is immoral. I'd say it's unconstitutional. It is wrong. And it's probably the most brazen theft and plunder of public resources ever proposed in the United States Congress. And it was tucked into this legislation. And I want to speak directly to Republicans who say they can't vote with us because it will delay the reopening of the government. First off, that's exactly what these corrupt senators were hoping you'd say. Second, we absolutely can send this back to the Senate. They can quickly strip it and send the bill to the president. They finished this package in less than 2 days. This is one small thing that needs to be deleted. It's easy, and it can be done very fast. But, and please spare me the excuses that we'll get this done next week with a new bill. Once this is law, that's it. It is signed into law forever. It will never change. It is permanent, and you voted for it. And Republicans you all know that. So don't say you're going to pass some new bill next week to address this. That's just an excuse to do nothing that will fix it. Republicans moved at the speed of light to give tax breaks to billionaires, and the least they can do is give the same urgency to stop this shamelessly corrupt fleecing of the American people. Now, I get it. Trump is suing the U.S. government for $230 million, and I guess these senators want in on the action. They want their own payday, but I've never seen this level of grift, shameless corruption, and theft of public money in my entire life, ever. So, Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent to insert the text of my amendment into the record along with extraneous material immediately prior to the vote on the previous question, and to discuss our proposal, I yield a minute to the gentleman from Virginia, Mr. Subramanian.
Without objection on the UC request, the chair will remind the gentleman from Massachusetts and others to please refrain from engaging in personalities. The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Ranking Member McGovern. I mean, you know what people hate more than seeing their costs go up? Is seeing their costs go up while corrupt politicians line their pockets with taxpayer money. That's what they really hate, but that's what this bill does. Republican senators slipped into this bill a legal pathway for them to personally receive millions of dollars in taxpayer money for being investigated after January 6th. And the other side talks about fiscal responsibility and says there's no money for healthcare, but somehow there's taxpayer money for Republican senators. This is an ethics violation. This is a breach of trust, and it calls into question.
So what you're going to see for the next couple hours or so, the vote's not scheduled till about 6:30. What you're going to see for the next couple hours is these members are going to have an opportunity to vent. Some of it goes way off the rail on some things, but you're going to hear a lot of your committee members and committee heads and party heads
groceries.
they are
gas,
going to
American
really
seniors
start
spend
blasting.
more
The
than
right's going to blast the left. The left's going to blast the
I
right.
ask unanimous consent to insert into the record an
This
article
vote will
from
take place in a little while. It's.
No, you're
I'm going to say
wrong.
this though.
Trump's spiral
This is going to be
based
tense
on rising food prices.
because
Without objection.
curious to
ask
see
unanimous consent to
how
insert
many
into the record an article
Republicans.
from the
There's a group of
Republican
about
Party.
7
Trump admits he doesn't
Republicans
care
that are
about
always a coin
Republican
toss on
economic
these things.
consequences.
They don't always go the way with Johnson
I
and
ask
the
unanimous
president.
consent to insert into the record an article from MSNBC
But
entitled,
you might
"Not
have a
Big
couple of
Issue,
Democrats as
Republican
well
Strongest
that
Consumers
may be
Confront
willing to get
Healthcare
this thing
Spending
moved
Bill."
across the finish line. So
I ask
we
unanimous
will
consent
see
to insert into the
how
record,
close this
an
vote
opinion article
is
published in MSNBC
down to the
entitled,
nitty gritty.
"Trump's
It could be
Argentina bailout
2 or
once
3
again puts
votes,
America last."
get this thing passed, get the government back up
I
and
ask
running.
unanimous
But
consent
I'm going to step
to insert into
out
the
of
record an article from
the
PBS
mic
entitled,
here for a few minutes and let you listen to these
Trump
members.
administration
lady from Minnesota.
So real quick, this is what I'm talking about. The last 20 minutes of conversation have had zero really to do with HR 5371, reopening the government again. We are seeing shots taken at Trump for having a Halloween party. I'm not really sure what that's got to do with the government reopening or not. So there's a lot of frustration on the left. Remember, 8 Democrat senators stepped up not before last and said, let's get SNAP back, let's get the food stamp program back, let's get the airports back open again, let's just get the government back open. So regardless of what side you're on, let's get the government open. Talking about Halloween parties and things like that. And there's also some things I'm hearing now that I've not heard on even on the network coverage. So again, for the next few minutes, we're going to see a bunch of shots across the bow, some stones being thrown at each other, and then they'll get to that vote.